So, we are looking at the last tariff war between the US and China under Donald Trump in his first presidency. There was supposed to be a meeting to be held when a last round of negotiations, so the deal making meeting, was scheduled for the January of 2020. That meeting never happened. We all know why, because by the time that January ended in 2020, we knew that there was a pandemic which was coming our way from China. So here we are a few years later, a lot of water has sailed under the bridge. Have we reset it from that moment, or are we picking up from there?
No, I think we're certainly picking up from there. I mean, the bonhomie between the two leaders, we've seen it ever since, both were in power, including Narendra Modi going all the way to Texas, and then, in that famous rally, basically saying, "Aapki baar, Trump ki sarkar." So we know that, they both share a very pragmatic and a very friendly, very cordial relationship, and they will pick up from exactly where they left it off. The one thing that I see different with Trump 2.0 is the expeditation of various issues. I mean, the fact that, the moment he assumed power, you look at the way he sort of distinctly came out differently to sign all the executive orders. The sheer expedition of the irregular aliens from America back to their home countries. That goes to demonstrate that Trump has an agenda, and he's willing to go a mile to fulfill that agenda. Just picking up from one of the arguments that Rick actually made, that the inner circle of Trump, which is the Vivek Ramaswamy, the Elon Musks of the world, who understand the importance of the tier 1 or the H-1B visas, whereas the bottom layer of the Trump support do not. Today's rally was very outspoken from that perspective. Trump made he drew a parallel of how JSW invested $500 million in the dying steel industry in the United States, and as a consequence, increased the level of job creation as a consequence. So he understands the importance of the Indian intellect, the Indian skills.
Yes,
and thereby he is actually reaching out to his core voter, the MAGA vote base, and saying that the Indians are different to the other irregular aliens that we have in the United States.
Yes,
which is why we are going to be accommodating
practicality
them.
on that, and for sure you're going to hear that statement. Like I said, you can easily mark my words. This is easily predictable that there are going to be conversations in that press meeting about Indian companies investing in the US. Indian companies, I can tell you, want to invest in the US. Right? It's not something that they're being forced to for strategic reasons. The US is a huge market. We potentially, from our investments in the US, can contribute to the US market and do what Americans would want everyone to do, is provide goods and services which do well in a liberal free market and turn a profit. Fair enough, that's how it's supposed to work. There is a trade imbalance of $50 billion. It's reasonable for the Americans to ask, listen, hang on. But it's reasonable for them to remember that the trade imbalance with the Chinese is $300 billion. So within reasonableness,